So it's week 6 in the Premier League. These matches were played between the 23rd and the 26th of September. So we started off at the London Stadium with Spurs the visitors. It was a lively encounter with West Ham really charged up. Just after the half hour, however, West Ham gave the ball away cheaply near the halfway line, and a precision pass by Ericsson put Dele Alli through on the right, and his cross was headed in by who else? Harry Kane. Now just 3 minutes later, Kane got his second after Ali's shot was saved by Hart, who unluckily it rebounded off at Kane's feet. After that, the Hammers lost some of their fight, and the half-time break probably prevented a third. After the break, however, on the hour, a delightful strike from Ericsson just inside the box beat Hart at his left near post. Game over. Hang on. A few minutes later, Chico Hernandez prodded in from 3 yards after Font ended on a corner. And 5 minutes later, Aurier, making his debut for Spurs, got a second yellow card, a late tackle on Carroll. And this gave West Ham momentum. And Kouyaté duly obliged by scoring a second goal a few minutes from time, which brought a frantic finale with Spurs just hanging on at the whistle. So to St Mary's, with the Saints taking on the Red Devils, and after a cagey first 15 minutes, United, through a great cross from Ashley Young, again in at left wing back, found Lukaku, whose heading was too much for Forster, who parried it back to the big striker, and he obliged willingly. 1-0 United. Matic was again superb in approach play and shone, and Rashford had an effort that brushed the post from outside the box, and the rest of the half was a bit tit for tat. Into the second half, and Southampton were winning the possession stats, and De Gea had to react swiftly to Redmond's strike, and Fellaini cleared off the line as Southampton pressed for the equaliser. Well, United held on for the win, and the highlight really was the defensive work by Rashford and Mata, which surely must have impressed Mourinho. He had provided a talking point, as he always does. He was sent to the sand for stepping on the pitch briefly. Okay, to the Etihad. A mismatch. Man City raining goals against Crystal Palace, goalless after 5 games. Amazingly, Palace held their own until a minute from half-time, when clever interplay in and around the Palace box left Sane, City's best player, an opportunity which he calmly took. Before, Palace had hit a post and missed a half chance, so it was relief for Guardiola at half-time. But soon after, he could sit back and relax as Man City added 2 more goals, the second following good work from De Bruyne, who set up Aguero, who unselfishly laid it on a plate for Sterling. Palace's heart went out of it after that, and Aguero headed a fourth, and Fabian Delph, who's he? Oh yeah, scored with a scorcher, hitting the top corner. Palace have Man U and Spurs on the horizon, and should go 0-8. So on to the King Power, with a repeat of the Carabao Cup tie that Leicester won 2-0 last Tuesday. It was clear from the start that Klopp had charged up Liverpool as they hit the ground running. Salah, on 15 minutes, scored from a header at the far post from a Coutinho cross. And it was Coutinho again, clearly having thrown off the cobwebs, that struck an exquisite free kick on 23 minutes to put the Scousers 2 up. Liverpool were in cruise control, but as typified their early season form, sloppy defending from a set piece and Okazaki poked home from a few yards. Well, into the second half, and Leicester pressing for an equaliser were caught on the break, and the recalled Sturridge stroking it to Henderson at the edge of the penalty area, and he calmly slotted it home, with Schmeichel off his line in no man's land. Well, of course the Foxes have a grit and fight about them under Shakespeare, and Vardy quickly cut the deficit to 1 again. In an exciting game, Vardy then missed the penalty, but Liverpool hung on just after a few hairy moments. To the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke had a good record against Chelsea on their home patch, but that stat went out of the window after Morata broke the offside trap after 2 minutes and calmly put it past Buckland. A defensive error by Fletcher was quickly pounced on by Pedro, and from the edge of the box he slotted Chelsea's second. Stoke had a couple of half chances that they spurned, but then Morata added a third after picking up the ball on the halfway line, and he outpaced all the defence and finished with aplomb. Morata completed his hat-trick on 82 minutes to complete the rout. Morata reminds me of the legend Roberto Baggio, and Chelsea are certainly not missing Costa, who's back in Spain, so we hear. So Everton, in the bottom 4, met Bournemouth next to bottom at Goodison, and both desperately needed a win. An elbow in Rooney's face early on suggested he had been in a boxing match with blood all over this place. The ref ignored the collision, and this wound up Rooney, who after that struggled, and he was substituted in the second half. Bournemouth had the better of the first half, and just after the interval, King scored to give the Cherries a lead. Koeman made key substitutions with Kumi Niasse on for Rooney, and he did the trick with him getting a brace. His first was a great shot, and the winner was a swift reaction to the ball near the goal line. So relief for Koeman, more concern for Eddie Howe. So to the Liberty, with Swansea and Watford providing the entertainment. Swansea's defence were sound asleep when King put Watford ahead on 13 minutes, as Watford were clearly better in the first half. Swansea improved after the break, and when Abraham joined Bonney up front, Paul Clement was rewarded with an Abraham goal. It looked to be heading for a draw until Richarlison broke clear, had a bit of good fortune when the ball hit a defender's leg and fell kindly in his path, and he finished with style. Swansea, only themselves to blame, are now 3 losses in a row at home. For Watford, bouncing back from the Man City horror show. The last Saturday game was Burnley and Huddersfield. The highlight was the dive by La Parra. People pay money to watch this. I think this game didn't deserve a point for each, or at least give the fans a refund. Hardly a shot on target, for 90 minutes. So to Sunday's match between two promotive sides. Brighton home to Newcastle. Hemed got the solitary goal early in the second half. John Joe Shovey came on as a sub near the end and hit a post. There was a record crowd watching Brighton, and most of them went home happy, but both sides lacked that cutting edge in the final third. The Monday night match at the Emirates. Okay, Arsenal entertaining West Brom with Gareth Barry up to the summit on EPL appearances, one ahead of Giggsy. Ozil was on the bench. The early action saw Sanchez going close from a free kick just outside the box, and soon after that Albion were denied a strong case of a penalty. Another Sanchez free kick hit the bar, and Lazaret's smart follow-up header made it 1-0 on 20 minutes. Albion continued to make chances, and Fletcher missed a sitter. But into the second half, Arsenal finally got a second when Lazaret converted a penalty after being fouled. The 2-0 flattered the Gunners, and Tony Pulis reminded us all in the interview about that penalty appeal that was ignored. So that's week 6 done and dusted. City and United still on top. Chelsea and Spurs now in the top 4. And Roy Hodgson has a week to work out how his side can score a goal. Bye. See you next week.